Has had one controversy after another. Probably the most stinging among the British public was his misconduct, partying, etc., during the COVID-19 lockdown here. That really hit home for a lot of people. He apologized for it, but there was a lot of fluffing around. So anyway, to get back to our story from the day, after these final few officials, even this morning said, listen, you've got to go. You're too much of a problem. Remember, this is coming from the Conservative Party, not from the opposition. His own party saying, you got to go. You got to step down. We're going to find somebody new. We're going to move on. You are too big a distraction. So that's where we stand right now, Mackenzie.
And Greg, you mentioned it yourself. Johnson surviving the so-called Partygate scandal, where lawmakers held parties while the UK was under COVID lockdowns. And also, he survived that no confidence vote back in June. Obviously, we know how his party feels about him. That is very clear based on his resignation today. But for those of us living in the U.S., what is the public perception over in the UK? What are the sentiments from the public? How do they feel about him?
Mackenzie, according to the latest polls, even the public has dished him. Yeah, let's recap for a viewer. The Labour Party, the opposition party, absolutely hates the guy, 100%. The Conservative Party, the members of Parliament, almost all of them deserting. And the big blow in the past 24, 48 hours was, in fact, the cabinet members that had supported him in the past. But even at the end, even last night, he said, I'm not going because I got a big mandate. He did. When he ran in 2019, he did get a really good vote for his Conservative Party. He talks about these 14 million voters that he's not going to desert. But in fact, the latest poll of the public finds a huge number. I think it's up in the range of 80% or so of the British public saying, no, it's time for Boris Johnson to go because of things like Partygate, because of other scandals like the most recent ones, because they feel like, well, he's a performer, he's flamboyant, he's quite a story, but they feel that they need, especially in these very difficult times on a range of fronts, a person a little bit more serious at the helm, Mackenzie.
Yeah, certainly a performer, as you mentioned. At least 60, I believe you mentioned, 60 cabinet members have now resigned. How will the government continue with so many senior leaders stepping down? Now that he has officially resigned, will they be able to come back on and sort of rescind their resignations? How will the government operate with it in shambles?
Yeah, Mackenzie, it's a little bit complex, this constitutional democracy that is run here in the UK when you're used to the US standards of Congress and president, et cetera, et cetera. Basically, yeah, 1/3 of his quote-unquote government quit in protest. They could be cabinet members, they could be junior cabinet ministers. All of them hold those jobs. They also hold jobs in the parliament. That is, they're members of parliament. How can he go forward when 1/3 of his government has left? That's the very big question right now, Mackenzie. And some people are saying that, in fact, he should step down right now. There should be at least a caretaker prime minister put in place before a permanent or semi-permanent leader of the Conservative Party is named. That could take the search for a new leader of the Conservative Party as long as 2 months. He wants to stick around for 3 months. There's a big Conservative Party convention in October. He wants to stay for 3 months. Opposition party says no way, and even Conservative Party says you're right. You won't be able to find enough people to make this function. There's already reports of malfunctioning at the top ranks of the government because of all this unrest and disruption, Mackenzie.
And thank you so much again to Greg Palcott for talking with us earlier today. Of course, this is just one of the headlines that we've been covering for you, the resignation of Boris Johnson, all in our world news.